Hey, it's Kevin with Wild Coffee Homestead. Today I'm going to add irrigation to my container garden. Stick with us and find out how I did it. This video isn't sponsored by Racetrack, Sweet Tea, but it should be. Alright, so there's a couple key elements to the system I'm going to use today to water our container gardening. Now, I wouldn't normally need to do this, only we're going to spend 2 weeks in the North Carolina mountains, enjoying the cool fall, enjoying the fall foliage. So if you're in North Carolina, we're ordering it up now. Will you do that for us? And then while we're away, we're going to the Homestead of America conference, and we're looking forward to that. That's in Virginia, and we're looking forward to seeing our friends and being a part of that community and learning and growing. So because of that, we have all these new fall plants in our container garden, and we want to make sure they don't die. We want to give them a good cool drink. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a system with half-inch poly tubing, and I had a lot of leftover scrap pieces, but they're just long enough to go from row to row. Then I'm going to add a manifold, a T, and then a manifold to those, and then go with the little 1/4-inch tubing to each one of these wicking containers. Just put that tubing down into the container, and then once or twice a week I'll set the system to turn on. I'll figure out if it's a 10-minute, 15-minute, 20-minute setting, and make sure that those the reservoirs in the bottom of these containers get full. Can't overwater, but I surely don't want to waste water. So I'll show you the pieces that I used and how I set up this system. It may work for you too, even if it's on your patio or your back deck or wherever your container gardens are. You can leave them for periods of time and assure they're watered with the system I'll show you today. I love these buckets. When I was doing construction on a regular basis, a lot of times we'd carry our tools into a high-rise building, our supplies on these buckets, and then that gave us a place to sit. Hey, it gave us a place to sit and eat lunch or work if we needed to sit down to do our job that day and what we were doing. Very versatile, very handy. Alright, so the first thing, I always start from the end of my run and then work backwards. I imagine you could do the opposite. You could start at the beginning. I wouldn't suggest starting in the middle. So tell me how you do your irrigation, how you do your plumbing projects. Do you start at the end or the beginning? So this is the last fitting in my system. So that's real good and snug there. And then I will tighten this manifold down in there like that. And then I'll attach that there with a zip tie, and that'll be my first irrigation line, or my last line. Simple like that. Use 2 zip ties to, the reason to make it look pretty. It's okay if your garden looks nice. And again, I'm reusing parts, so you can reuse parts as well. A little rubber cap on here, so if you don't use all the manifolds. Oh wow, cool breeze. Those are nice. One thing I do realize is cool is a relative term. So what's cool for me may not be cool for you, but that was cool. Take advantage of this cattle panel. I'm just going to run my tubing goes down into my bucket about this far. It could go further. You just want it not to be, you don't want it to pop out. So I'll do that. I'm not really securing it there. So just by making it longer, helps keep it secure. I find if I have a bucket that I keep all my supplies in, container like this, I put all my micro irrigation in here, and then when I have a new job that comes up or I have to rework something, I know right where to go and get it. Do you ever have difficulty finding your tools? That's half of my life pursuit, is to remember where I put something. Is that you? Am I the only one being honest here? Come on, Racetrack, I need a sponsor. So you may be wondering, what's next? How do I go from the hose to the 1/2-inch poly pipe? Well, luckily Rainbird's come up with a solution. This adapter is a slip connection, much like your shark bite connections, just in a irrigation system instead. It is not easy. It's not one of the easier fittings to put on, but with enough force, get it on there. And then simply it's a hose fitting here. I don't know if you know this, but hose fittings and plumbing fittings are different. Your hose threads are different than your typical male pipe threads. So this is specially made for this. It's irrigation, and now we're ready. So this was the last step, hooking it up to my hose. My hose goes to the source, and at the source I have a timer. Let me show you that. So this is my Rainbird timer, and it's a 7-day. You can set it. You can set your run days. So there's the Monday day. You can set the duration of the time. Right there's an hour. Start time at 5 a.m. So you can set all this. This is how you set your clock originally. So I'm going to set this to accomplish, instead of a garden watering, I'm going to use this for container gardening. So I'll experiment over the next few days and find out what it takes just to fill up those containers. And then I know those containers can stay full for a few days. So I don't need to water every day. It might be twice a week while we're gone. But that'll be the plan. And these, not sponsored by Rainbird, but I'll be happy to put this link, YouTube or a Amazon Associates link if you can't find it where you're at. I've used quite a few of the vendors, and this is my favorite. I have 6 of these on the Homestead. And you might be wondering why there's a bird here. This is so I don't run into it with the tractor. Miss Bonnie doesn't like it when I run into things with a tractor, so she tries to put colorful things to remind me, hey, there's something there. Don't run into this post, break this water, break this system. So isn't that nice of her to do that for me? Thanks, Bonnie. Well, the last step in any irrigation process is to check for leaks. And no, I'm not wet, this is sweat. I cannot tell a lie. I'm wet. You know, you could turn off the water before you tighten a fitting or check the water, try to fix the leak. But what fun is that? Oh, it sure felt good. Nice cool water. Hey, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a part of our journey. If you have any comments or questions or suggestions, please leave them down below. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.